My channel has been growing. Actually, it's been feeling like it's been exploding on me because I've been a small YouTuber and I just recently passed 1,000 subscribers and the amount of subscribers I'm gaining has been increasing. It's been really cool, but it's got me wondering how much with all the new people and even with you OG, even with the people who've been watching me, you probably wonder what kind of a person I am and like how I operate, how my brain works, and how just well, I guess I said it best the first time, what kind of person I am. I'm not good with this stuff. I know that this has been a thing that people did like years ago. There's personality tests to like figure out exactly what kind of a person you are, and I know what kind of person I am. I took this test 2 years ago. Well, even more tests than just this. But and I know that everyone who's done this test done it like two years ago, so this is like an old thing that no one's doing anymore. But I thought I'd give you guys the opportunity to kind of like explain what kind of person I am, to show you what kind of person I am, and to like get a better understanding of who you're watching and what you're cringing at. It just I got this idea and I've not done this on my channel before, and I feel like it would be enjoyable, and I feel like it would be something that we would have fun to do together, and you can actually learn something about me. I think it's about 100 questions, but it takes less than 12 minutes, and it's like it's not going to take that long. So, but I figured I'd explain the answers to you of why I picked this, so that way you can actually understand what kind of person I am. I'm being very repetitive. Here we go. You enjoy vibrant social events with lots of people. I enjoy music. I enjoy talking to people whenever I actually get pulled into a conversation, and I do enjoy having activities with people. However, myself, being in social events, I don't really personally like doing, because I'm not good at bringing myself to new people. Outside my whenever I'm talking on camera, you guys are probably thinking that you're probably thinking I'm an extrovert, thinking that I'm always quick to talk to someone and quick to actually like be around people and talking to people and talking with a bunch of new people. That is actually not the case. I'm not an introvert, but I'm also not an extrovert. I'm a weird in the middle kind of person. Whenever I'm talking to new people I've never met before, and I don't know how they act, I'm normally keep to myself, and I normally like just kind of, I feel awkward. But if I know the person, I start getting comfortable with the people, I start like what I'm doing with you guys. I talk normally. Sometimes my voice will get a little louder. I will laugh more, and I'll probably seem a little more happy and stuff. And it's just like it's weird when I'm an introvert. Whenever I'm with a group of new people that I don't know, I'm like I stay to myself. If I'm with people I know, I'm very much an extrovert. It's weird. I'm gonna disagree, because yes, there's social events with people that I know, and I probably have fun with that. So I'm not gonna completely disagree, but I am going to disagree with that. You often spend time exploring unrealistic yet intriguing ideas. Yes. Very informative, Jafia. I do love doing some new things. I come up with a lot of ideas, the whole form of creativity and stuff like that. When I was a kid, I would always play in my backyard, and I'd go on thousands of adventures. I would always come up with new ideas of new things to do. I'd always find new ideas of like, you have no idea how many ideas of videos I've had for my YouTube channel. Hardly any of them I ever pull through, because one, I don't have the editing power. Two, I don't think I can actually bring myself to do some of those things. And three, some of them are a little embarrassing. But yes, I do come up with a lot of those ideas, so I'm gonna go ahead and agree with that. Your travel plans are more likely to look like a rough list of ideas than a detailed itinerary. Yes. I am not a detailed-oriented person. I am actually terrible with details, and I'm an unorganized person, so I completely agree with that. Yes. You often think about what you should have said in a conversation long after it has taken place. I don't do it often, but like every time I think I said something that I didn't like, I think I should have taken it back, I do go through in my head ways that I could have like fixed that, or I start kind of, there are times where if I say something that I really wish I didn't say, I get obsessive in my head thinking about it over and over and over again, how I could have done this different, done this different, done this different. So yes, I do that, but not often, like it's saying. If your friend is sad about something, your first instinct is to support them emotionally, not try to serve. That is, yes, I do solve problems. I will bring myself to solve problems, but when it comes to the instinct of helping someone out, my focus is more of the moral and emotional side of the problem that they're going through. I'm more concerned about how they are reacting and how they're feeling inside rather than the actual problem. Yes, we're going to solve the problem and we'll make sure that that happens, but you also have to be in the right state of mind, in the right headspace to actually be able to go through with the problem. So I go with so that's a yes. That's definitely a agree. People can rarely upset you. That you may have been confused by some of the videos I've done, like Pogo Stuck and Getting Over It, or even some like the Mario Maker levels. The reason why I get angry, I don't get mad at people. People really don't upset me very much. The one person that upsets me is me. And I've actually talked about this in the Pogo Stuck video quite in depth actually too, that I will get furious at myself because I know I could have done better, and because I know that I could have done better, I know that it frustrates me, so I frustrate myself. So people really don't upset me very much. I'm actually pretty, I don't know the right proper term for it. You often rely on other people to be the ones to start a conversation and keep it going. No, starting a conversation. I can keep a conversation going, but when it comes to starting a conversation, I never really feel comfortable starting it myself. For one thing, I'm not very good at thinking of topics in the middle of to start a conversation with, because it's not comfortable to me. So whenever someone else starts the conversation, I feel very comfortable with it, and I can keep it going for as long as we want to. But when it comes to starting a conversation, which kind of goes to like the introvert tendencies whenever I'm with new people, I can't do it. I think too much about if I like say something that the other person doesn't like, or if I offend the other person or something like that. That's probably the main reason why I feel that way. If you have to temporarily put your plans on hold, you make sure it is your top priority to get back on track as soon as possible. I am a procrastinator. I am actually really bad at procrastinating, and it is a problem with me. And if I put plans on hold, like, it's in the back of my head that I have to get this done. However, one, I'm a procrastinator, and it's not intentional. I don't know. I just kind of instinctively do it. And two, I have a very forgetful mind. And if I put plans on hold, I tend to actually forget those plans, and then I never really get to it. So, I mean, I should probably be honest and disagree, because that's the real answer is I'm not really. You really worry if you make a good impression on someone you met. That is no. That is completely false, because I'm always worried about making a good impression. I am always in the back of my head whenever I meet someone. It's like, don't screw this up, don't screw this up, don't screw this up. Hi, I'm a nice person. No, wait, I didn't mean to come off that strong. I'm very self-conscious about what others think of me. I shouldn't be. I am aware of this. It's just the way my brain works is I am actually very much self-conscious about what people think of me. And sometimes that even affects the way I act towards people, because I want people to like me, but there comes to situations where you have to do something that people won't like you for, but at the same time, I really want people to like me. I had this problem yesterday while I was live streaming, that this person was so mad at me for not saying that this game was a ripoff of another game, because I liked the game, but at the same time, I didn't want to say that I didn't want to upset the person, and I felt bad that the guy was mad at me, but at the same time, I was defending the game because I love the game. It's one of my favorite games, and I didn't want to give in to that. But I didn't want to hurt this guy's feelings to say something that'd make him mad, because he was already mad, so I just kind of started ignoring his comments and started ignoring what he was saying just to keep the explosions from happening. Because explosions were already going off my head and didn't want that to go off in the camera, so that's kind of why that turned out. It would be a challenge for you to spend a whole weekend all by yourself without feeling bored. That is false, because I am actually really good at keeping myself entertained with really anything I could think of. I'm actually a very patient person, And if I wanted to, I could sit in a room without doing anything and just go off of my thoughts. I am someone who's actually very much I'm not sure what the specific terminology is, but I'm often have my head in the clouds. I am often thinking of like stories and stuff, or like thinking of adventures, or thinking of just my own movies. There's a lot of, well, really, I'm being very narrow with the way of explaining what I do in my head. I can do anything just off of what's going on in my head, really, and that would keep me entertained for weeks, maybe even months. You're more of a detail-oriented than a big-picture person. No, I'm much bigger of a big-picture person than a detail-oriented person. You are very affectionate with people you care about, yes. Some of these questions I can't give detailed answers to because it would feel weird. I'm not sure how to actually approach it. You have a careful and methodical approach to life. I mean, I'm very careful. And like when I'm driving, I like to be careful, and whenever I'm working, I like to be careful, and when I'm doing life stuff, I like to be careful, but methodical? Yeah, I would say so, sure. You were still bothered by the mistakes you made a long time ago. I have learned, this used to be a problem with me, but I've learned how to actually move on with my mistakes, because dealing with your mistakes, it's not about letting the mistakes haunt you and letting your mistakes determine what your life is going to be. What it is about is using your mistakes to learn what to do next time so you don't cause the same mistake, and use that mistake to change your life to something better than what that mistake wanted your life to be, basically. So that does not bother me because I've actually learned to move on. At parties and similar events, you can mostly be found farther away from the action. This is, again, a half situation. If I feel comfortable with the people I'm in, then yeah, I will be in the action. I'll actually be one of the louder people, probably, and actually be one of the people who's really fun with it. However, if there's a bunch of people I don't know, and it's all people that I'm just not familiar with, I'm definitely going to be in the corner of the room, probably standing up in the corner, eating food or something, and just keeping to myself. So that's, it says not to give neutral answers, but that's basically, I have to give a neutral answer because it's 50-50. It really is 50-50. You often find it difficult to relate to people who let their emotions guide them. I've learned to control my emotions, but there was a time whenever my emotions would guide me most definitely, so I can kind of relate. No, I don't find it difficult. I can pretty much relate. We're looking for a movie to watch. You can spend ages browsing the catalog. That is true. Yes, I can spend ages browsing the catalog. It's not necessarily because I can't find anything to watch. It's probably mainly because I've seen so many movies that I'm going through looking for something that I haven't watched that might be good, or something that I have watched, but then it's like there's another movie that I want to watch, but there's another movie I want to watch, and then there's another movie I want to watch, and I just don't have the time to do all this. And yeah, I think that could definitely be the case. You can stay calm under a lot of pressure. Yes, but during the time period of the pressure, I've stayed calm, but there's been times to where when everything's said and done, I'm like shaking, and I'm like going through, like, I get really upset with myself because, again, I'm mad at myself for not being able to doing it better than I could have, which happens to me a lot. And then there's been times to where I don't eat, and I am a type of diabetic to where if I don't eat food within an amount of time, I will go into a panic attack, and I'll start locking up, especially my hands, my arms, and so, I mean, yes, I can stay calm in the pressure. It's a matter of when it's all over, or if I've eaten. When in a group of people you do not know, you have no problem jumping right into the conversation. That is definitely not true. When you sleep, your dreams tend to be bizarre and fantastical. That is a most definite Yes, my dreams, not only are they jumpy, they like jump from different thing to different thing to different thing, they're very jumpy, but it's always super bizarre. I never know what to expect, and that, I rarely get nightmares anymore, but if it was a nightmare, it's not just the aspect that it's terrifying, but the fact that it's so bizarre that I never know what's gonna happen, that it leaves me feeling scared is not the word to use. It leaves me feeling very anxious to go through the nightmare because I have no clue what's gonna happen. I never really am in control of my dreams. In your opinion, it is sometimes okay to step on others to get ahead in life. I do not agree with that. Actually, I'm going to strongly disagree with that because I don't like hurting people at all. I don't like having to do things that affect a person negatively to benefit me positively. I don't like that at all. I will completely disagree with that. You are dedicated and focused on your goals, only rarely getting sidetracked. That is also something that I cannot agree with because I have a problem. Squirrel! If you make a mistake, you tend to start doubting yourself, abilities, or your knowledge. That is just like what I've been explaining even with the Pogo Stuck video. That is exactly how I feel. It's like it already knows how I'm starting to be. When at a social event, you rarely try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to ones you already know. That is... See, it's already going on to things that I've been explaining in very big detail with here. This video's already been 20 minutes. I gotta pick this up. This is taking too long. Or maybe I'm gonna edit this well. You usually lose interest in a discussion when it gets philosophical. Actually, that's... Oh, wait, no, disagree. Actually, I do stay interested in the philosophical. If I may not be talking much about it, especially if it's stuff that I don't have too much knowledge about, I might not be talking too much about it, but I'm definitely intrigued in the conversation, and I'm definitely listening. One thing about me is I'm a bigger listener than I am a talker. I will try to listen to people more instead of just opening my mouth and trying to get my opinions out over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I'm just a listener. You will never let yourself cry in front of others. I try not to let myself cry in front of others. I try very hard not to cry in front of others, but there's been a few times to where I could not help it, and I end up crying in front of others anyway, and sometimes where I don't even try to stop myself. So you feel more drawn to places with a bustling and busy atmosphere than to more quiet and intimate ones. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much true. I like discussing different views and theories on what the world could look like in the future. Not really. My family likes discussing that stuff, but I'm just not really interested. I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen in the future, of what the world will be, what will happen to the world in the future, but discussing it, I've kind of strayed away from that because there's a lot of people who really don't like what I think about what's going to happen in the future. When it comes to making life-changing choices, you mostly listen to your heart rather than your head. I listen to both. If I were to have to pick which one I would listen to more, it probably would be the heart. It probably would be. You cannot imagine yourself dedicating your life to the study of something that you cannot see, touch, or experience. That is actually completely true. I mean, that's not true. That is completely not true because, I mean, not only am I a Christian, but I fully believe in Holy Spirit, and I fully believe in gifts of the Spirit, and we all know the Holy Spirit and the gifts of the Spirit, there's evidence that it's there, but you can't see it, you can't touch it, you can experience it, kind of, pretty much, but I mean, a lot of people don't believe in that stuff. I do, so I completely disagree with that statement right there. You usually prefer to get your revenge rather than forgive. That is actually definitely not true because I'm more in the forgiving than revenging. I'm pretty sure. You'll have to make decisions on a whim. That is also very true. I even recently I'm still have that problem. I'm trying to fix that problem. But I mean, looking at my setup with how my computer is right now, I could tell you I still have that problem. The time you spend by yourself often ends up being more interesting and satisfying than the time you spend with other people. See, the videos that I make, is the most interesting and satisfying thing I actually do, then I'm not spending time with people unless I'm live streaming. And even then, live streaming is some of my favorite things about YouTube, being able to live stream. That's spending time with people. But the big majority of me running the channel is probably just by myself, kind of, with videos and editing. And I think I'm going to give that a slightly agree. I'm going to agree. You have to put special effort into interpreting the real meaning or message of a song or a movie. No, I just enjoy it. I'll just enjoy it. I don't really put the looking for the real meaning or the message. I don't really look for really, unless I'm really curious. But even then, it's like, cool. You always knew exactly what you want. It depends. If I'm like, if I'm making decisions in like restaurants or fast food places or like ice cream parlors or stuff like that, I definitely have a difficult time. Yeah, I'm gonna slightly disagree on that, because I've definitely there's a lot of times, now that I think about it, I'm gonna disagree with that, because now that I think about it, there's been a lot of times where I don't really know what I want. You really think back on the choices you made, or no, you rarely think back on the choices you made and wonder what you could have done differently. I still think back on the stuff. I mean, I've moved on with it, but my brain will still go back and wonder what I could have done differently. So, I mean, yeah, I still go through that. When in a public place, you usually sit quieter in less crowded areas. Yes. Not necessarily the quieter part, but the less crowded, definitely. I don't like being in crowds. I'm not a big crowd person. I don't get nervous when I'm in a crowd, and I don't get anxious when I'm in a crowd. I just prefer being out of the crowd than I would want to be in the crowd. You tend to focus on present realities rather than future possibilities. I definitely focus on the present more so than the future. Actually, come to think of it, I probably should put a little more, I should put more into the future. I should put more thought into the future. I really should. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. That's actually not true, because I have a pretty good connection. I can give a good connection with people and how they feel. Their understanding their feelings is probably empathy. It's like being able to empathize with the person. I can do that. I'm not that bad at it. When starting to work on a project, you prefer to make as many decisions up front as possible. Yes. I definitely up front. I don't do it in the sidelines. I don't try to hide it. I will do it up front. So that's about right. When you know someone thinks highly of you, you also wonder how long it will be until they become disappointed. Yep. I definitely think like that. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. I don't. I wish I did. I wish I could say I could do that, but I don't. You often drift away into daydreaming about various ideas or scenarios. That is, just like I explained earlier, that is exactly true. You look after yourself first and others come in second. That's definitely not true. As a matter of fact, I definitely put myself third and everyone else first. Basically. Even when you have planned a particular daily routine, you usually just end up doing what you feel like at any... It's a problem. Your mood can change very quickly. Yes. Yeah. I mean, given recent events, yeah, basically. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. Actually, I don't contemplate, because I pretty much already have an understanding of why we're here. Again, I'm a Christian, and I've tried very hard to keep my relationship with God true, and I've tried very hard to connect with Him as much as I can, and learning what I can about Him, and why He loves me, why He tries to help me, what His goal for me is. So I kind of already have, it's not really contemplating the reason for the meaning of life. I'm pretty sure I've already got that part kind of figured out. Kinda, a little bit. I'm still learning a lot, obviously, but you have to talk about your own feelings and emotions. I run a YouTube channel, so that's very much true. You have got detailed education or career development plans stretching several years into the future. That is absolutely not true. You rarely dwell on your regrets. See, I just move on. I move on. Spending time in a dynamic atmosphere with lots of people around quickly makes you feel drained in need of a getaway. Actually, that is partly true. I do enjoy time by myself, and that goes back to that question they asked me that I wasn't sure about, how I feel better spending time with myself than I do with spending time with other people. I actually do have a lot of there's actually a lot of times where I feel like I need to spend time with myself and just in need of that. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and strongly agree with that now that I think about it, because there's been a few times to where I haven't uploaded in a while, and the reason being is because I'm trying to just me time. I need me time. So that's actually true. You see yourself as more of a realist than a visionary. Not really. Yes, I look at realism, and yes, I'm gonna be serious, but at the same time, I think I go more into the visionary aspect than I do the realist aspect. You find it easy to empathize with the person who has gone through something you never have. Actually, again, I'm a listener instead of a talker, and being a listener helps you so much more when it comes to empathizing with someone, especially with something that you've never been through, and being able to take in what they're saying and learn what they're saying, figuring out how they're feeling, generally helps you being able to actually put yourself in their shoes to figure out exactly what they're going through. It's actually, people will say it's really hard to do that, but it's really not that hard if you know how to listen. That's the key way of actually doing that. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent efforts. Yep, that's me. I'm definitely a quick speed person, and it's definitely spontaneous. I'm definitely not organized. Actually, if you saw my room, you would know for a fact that I'm not organized. I don't lose things, and it looks like a mess, and you would think that I lose things a lot, but I actually know where everything is. I think it's a thing of laziness. It probably is a thing of laziness. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Not true. I'm actually very good at controlling my emotions. After a long and exhausting, well, actually, looking back on some of the Pogo Stuck videos, maybe I should dumb down that disagree a little bit. After a long and exhausting week, a fun party is just what you need. No. Whenever I have a long and exhausting week, I need rest. I need to calm down. I will either watch videos, YouTube or TV shows, or play video games. So definitely not partying, resting. You frequently find yourself wondering how technological advancement could change everyday life. As a kid, I did, but I really don't anymore. I think of different things. My focus has been more like survival mode lately. You always consider how your actions might affect other people before doing something. Yes. I definitely consider me doing something, how that would affect other people, definitely. Again, me third, everyone else first. You still honor the commitments you have made, even if you have a change of heart. Yes. I can't think of a situation where I've actually been in that position, but I will say yes, because I'm really not sure. You rarely feel insecure. 6 months ago, I would agree with that, but after taking up my management position that I have at work, I have to disagree with that, because I've definitely been feeling insecure. I'm a mediator. Okay, so here's where you're actually gonna find out the actual details of me and about me. I am more introverted than I am. I'm 83% introverted. It's not 50-50 like I thought it was. I mean, again, it's not a perfect test, so there's probably gonna be some spots that are a little iffy, but yes, this kind of does make a little more sense to me. This trait shows where we direct your mental energy. So I'm more intuitive than I am observant. Actually, no, that's pretty much close to 50-50. So I'm a little more intuitive than observant, but I can still be observant at times. I am more feeling. I'm 8% thinking. I'm actually more that actually speaks about me very much. Whenever I talk about myself, whenever I'm like, every time I like call myself an idiot, And every time I'm mad at myself for like, oh, it's just so dumb, you could have done this, I go more towards emotional thinking than I do thinking, rational thinking, just intellectual thinking. That's kind of just how my brain is wired. That's just kind of how I am. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. So I'm more prospecting than I am judging. That's interesting because the last time I took this test, I think I got mediator, but I'm pretty sure I was more in the judging than I was prospecting. I could be wrong. It's been a while. That was like 2 years ago when I took this test, but that's interesting. And my identity, I am half turbulent and half assertive, which I think kind of goes more along the lines with, I'm a YouTuber, so that's how I am. Start reading. Oh, they actually talk about what kind of role you are. Mediator personalities are true idealists, always looking for the hint of good, even in the worst of people and events, searching for ways to make things better. While they may be perceived as calm, reserved, or even shy, mediators have an inner flame and passion that can truly shine. Comprising about 4% of the population, the risk of feeling misunderstood is unfortunately higher for the mediator personality type. But when they feel like-minded people to spend their time with, the harmony they feel will be a fountain of joy. That is actually very true. I'm always worried about me being misunderstood. I'm always worried. I am always worried about me saying something and people taking it as something different than what I meant for it to say. That is actually something that is true. And I do feel a lot better with people who think like the way I do. That's probably normal for anyone else who even isn't a mediator. Being a part of the diplomatic role group, mediators are guided by the principles rather than by logic. That is true. Excitement or practically. When deciding how to move forward, they will look to honor, beauty, morality, and virtue. Mediators are led by the purity of their intent, not rewards or punishments. That is also true. People who share the mediator personality type are proud of this quality, and rightly so, but not everyone understands the drive behind these feelings, and it can lead to isolation. That is also true. I don't meet a lot of people who will do what they do just because, not because they want to be rewarded for it or they're scared of being punished because of it. They just want to do it just to be nice? Question mark? I want to say nice. I like that. I feel like that's kind of basically what this describes. And that's kind of how I feel too. All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. I like that. J.R.R. Tolkien. That's a cool quote right there. So what, isn't there like a strengths and weaknesses and things? Yes. But listen to many people, but talk to few. That is also very true. And I would read all that, but people who are like me. I'm like William Shakespeare, Johnny Depp. What's the strengths and weaknesses? It makes me very curious. Mediators' strengths are their idealistic. Mediators' friends and loved ones will come to admire and depend on them for their optimism. Their unshaken belief that all people are inherently good, perhaps simply misunderstood, lends itself to be incredibly resilient attitude in the face of hardship. I don't believe that people are inherently good. I actually believe the opposite, but I believe that people can be good. It's not like they're just they have it in their DNA to be good, because it's actually not true. It's actually quite the opposite, but we can like push through and be good, basically. Seek value harmony. People with the mediator personality type have no interest in having power over others and don't much care for domineering attitudes at all. That is very true. That's kind of how I feel for my job right now. Open-minded and flexible. They're very creative, passionate, and energetic. I am very energetic, and you could probably already tell. Dedicated and hardworking. I like to think I am, but what's my weaknesses? I'm too idealistic. Often take their idealism too far, setting themselves up for disappointment as, again and again, evil things happen in the world. They're too altruistic. What does that mean? Sometimes see themselves as selfish, but only because they want to give so much more than they are able to. This becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy as they try to push themselves to commit to a chosen cause or person, forgetting to take care of the needs of others in their lives, and especially themselves. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see that. I don't think I have that as a problem, but I guess I can be more careful of it if that ever does happen in the future. But when something captures their imagination, they can neglect practical matters like day-to-day maintenance and simple pleasures. Sometimes people with a meteor personality type will take this asceticism as far as to neglect eating and drinking as they pursue their passion or cause. Yes, sometimes I get so much into something that it causes me problems that I have seen that happen to me before, just like dealing with data. Are often so focused on the big picture they forget the forest is made of individual trees. Are in tune with emotions and morality. When the facts and data contradict their ideals, it could be a real challenge. Yes, that also I've dealt with before. I do have a problem. I have a problem with taking things personally sometimes. Sometimes I have to just step back and go, hey, this is not what they meant. Then that's not. Don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. It's difficult to get to know. And they're private, reserved, and self-conscious. This makes them notoriously difficult to really get to know, and their need for these qualities contributes to the guilt that they often feel for not giving more of themselves to those they care about. That is also true. There's a lot of people who think they know me, and they start to talk as if they know me, and they tell me things about me that I know for facts not me. And that actually kind of explains why that would be the problem, because they think they know me, but I really don't talk about myself very much. I mean, again, I feel more comfortable with people that I am comfortable with. But maybe that list is not as big of a list as I think it is. Well, anyway, this video's gotten way too long. I'm going to try to edit this down as much as I can. Hopefully I talked quick enough to actually condense it even more, and hopefully it's not going to be way too long for you guys. So anyway, y'all have a great night. I hope y'all learned... I hope y'all enjoyed this experience. I hope you actually enjoyed learning more about me, and maybe it'll actually bring more light to some of the ways that I run my channel and some of the videos I make and the content I make. So y'all have a great night, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.